Somebody give God a shout of praise. Oh, I feel something stirring in this place. Somebody who knows God is able, just wave your hand and say He's able. Prayer is not just words whispered into the air. It is a divine conversation, a supernatural transaction between humanity and heaven. It is the bridge that connects the seen with the unseen, the natural with the supernatural. The possible. Prayer is power. Prayer is strategy. Prayer is movement. When a person truly understands the weight of prayer, they no longer see it as a religious routine, but as a lifeline, a force that shifts atmospheres, breaks chains, and releases blessings. There are different kinds of prayer. There is the quiet prayer of reflection, the prayer of thanksgiving, the desperate cry in the midnight hour, and the bold declaration that shakes the foundations of circumstances. But when a person prays with faith, with conviction, with an unshakable belief that God hears, something begins to change. Prayer is the key that unlocks doors that no man can shut. It is the battering ram against walls of limitation. It is the access code to divine wisdom, strategies, and favor. There is no such thing as a powerless prayer when it is prayed in faith. Some people pray small prayers because they have a small expectation. They whisper weak words because they have not yet grasped the strength of the one they are speaking to. But when a person realizes they are standing before the throne of the Almighty, when they understand that the Creator of heaven and earth is inclining His ear, they stop praying like beggars and start praying like heirs. They stop hoping and start declaring. They stop pleading and start decreeing. Prayer is not about repeating words. It is about aligning with the will of God, stepping into divine agreement and calling things that are not as though they were. It is not about manipulation, but about manifestation. When a person prays with an understanding of their identity, their prayers stop being about survival and start being about dominion. They don't just ask for enough, they ask for overflow. They don't just ask for escape, they ask for elevation. Prayer is not passive, it is aggressive, it is bold, it is relentless. It is a spiritual tool that builds, uproots, and establishes. It is the most powerful weapon a believer has, yet many leave it unused. Prayer is the foundation of every breakthrough, the catalyst of transformation, the secret to supernatural success. Faith is the currency of the kingdom, the substance that turns dreams into reality and impossibilities into testimonies. It is not just belief, it is action. It is moving when there is no evidence, speaking when there is no proof, and trusting when everything around says otherwise. Faith is the force that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It is the difference between those who remain where they are and those who step into destiny. Faith is not a feeling, it is a decision. It is a commitment to believe even when the natural mind screams in doubt. Faith is not just about hoping for the best. It is about knowing that the best is already done. It is walking like the answer has already come, talking like the victory is already won, living like the promise is already fulfilled. It does not wait for circumstances to align before it moves. It moves and then circumstances align. Faith is what causes a person to build an ark when there is no rain, to step into the water before it parts, to speak to mountains knowing they must obey. Faith does not ask how, it declares that it is already done. Faith is dangerous to the enemy because it cannot be shaken by what is seen. It does not waver when trials come. It does not break under pressure. It does not shrink back in fear. Faith is persistent. It is tenacious. It does not settle for less when God has promised more. Faith does not compromise. It contends. It does not wait for permission. It takes possession. Faith is not passive. It is aggressive. It sees lack and declares abundance. It sees sickness and proclaims healing. It sees obstacles and calls them stepping stones. Faith requires action. It is not just a thought in the mind, it is a conviction in the heart that moves the hands and feet. It causes people to invest when others are afraid, to launch when others are waiting, to speak when others are silent. Faith is bold. It does not whisper. It roars. It does not retreat. It advances. It does not look at giants and turn away. It picks up a stone and runs toward them. Faith is the key that unlocks supernatural provision, divine strategies, and miraculous breakthroughs. Faith sees what others cannot see, believes what others cannot believe, and receives what others will never receive. Breakthrough is not a matter of luck, it is a matter of divine alignment, persistence, and the willingness to push past resistance. It does not come to those who wait idly, hoping for something to change. It comes to those who press, who refuse to accept limitations, who dare. Breakthrough is the moment when everything shifts, when the barriers that once seemed immovable crumble, when the doors that were shut swing wide open. It is the collision of faith and action, the manifestation of relentless prayer and unwavering trust in God's timing. Breakthrough requires pressure. It is the result of pushing beyond what is comfortable, refusing to settle for less, and pressing through even when the answer has not yet appeared. Just like a seed must break through the soil to reach the light, just like a baby must push through the birth canal to enter the world, every breakthrough requires a process of pressing, stretching, and enduring. The enemy fights the hardest just before a breakthrough, throwing distractions, delays, and discouragement to make people give up right before they reach the promise. Breakthrough demands a mindset shift. It requires seeing beyond the present struggle, understanding that opposition is often an indicator of divine opportunity. It requires refusing to be defined by the past, refusing to be bound by fear, and refusing to accept anything less than what God has promised. Breakthrough is for those who are willing to declare their victory before they see it, to praise in the middle of the storm, to act in faith when the circumstances still look the same. Breakthrough does not always come in the way people expect. Sometimes it happens in an instant, but other times it comes through consistency, persistence, and small steps of obedience. It is not just about one moment of victory, but about a lifestyle of faith, a commitment to keep moving forward no matter what. The mindset of breakthrough does not wait for permission. It takes what has already been promised. It does not ask whether something is possible. It declares that nothing is impossible. Breakthrough belongs to those who refuse to quit, who refuse to bow to fear, who refuse to let temporary struggles define their permanent destiny. It is the divine release that shifts a person from waiting on a miracle to walking in one. Wealth is not just about money, it is about mindset, stewardship, and divine positioning. It is more than numbers in a bank account. It is the ability to create, sustain, and multiply resources. True wealth is not just accumulated, it is cultivated. It begins in the mind before it manifests in the hands. A person cannot walk in abundance while thinking in limitation. Wealth is an outflow of wisdom, discipline, and the ability to recognize opportunities when they arise. It is not about chasing money, but about attracting it through purpose, vision, and faith-driven action. Wealth is not something that happens by accident. It is a product of intentionality. It comes to those who prepare for it, those who are willing to plant the seeds long before they see the harvest. It requires an investment of time, effort, and the right relationships. It requires learning, growing, and stretching beyond what is comfortable. A poverty mindset waits for someone else to provide, but a wealth mindset takes ownership, seeks solutions, and moves forward with boldness. Wealth is not about greed, it is about responsibility. It is the ability to be a blessing, to fund visions, to create opportunities, and to leave a legacy that outlives a single lifetime. Wealth is not just about making money, it is about managing it. Money in the hands of someone without wisdom will disappear, but money in the hands of someone with understanding will multiply. The ability to sustain wealth comes from discipline, from knowing how to sow, how to save, and how to invest. Wealth is not found in reckless spending or impulsive decisions, but in wise stewardship, strategic planning, and obedience to divine principles. The difference between those who struggle financially and those who walk in abundance is not always opportunity. Sometimes it is simply a matter of knowledge and mindset. Wealth is attracted to action. Those who wait for the perfect moment never move, but those who recognize the time is now will step forward and seize what is available. Wealth follows creativity, diligence, and problem solving. It comes to those who provide solutions, serve others, and understand the value of excellence. Those who are entrusted with wealth are those who prove they can handle it. When a person understands wealth from a divine perspective, they do not see it as something to hoard, but as a tool to build, to uplift, and to bring transformation to the world around them. Shift is the moment when everything changes, the turning point where what was once stagnant begins to move, where what was once blocked begins to open, where what was once delayed begins to accelerate. A shift does not happen by accident, it happens through alignment, obedience, and a willingness to embrace the new. There comes a time in life when staying the same is no longer an option, when growth demands movement, when destiny calls for a decision. A shift is uncomfortable because it requires leaving behind the familiar and stepping into the unknown. It forces a person to let go of old patterns, outdated mindsets, and limiting beliefs in order to step into something greater. A shift is not just an external change, it is an internal transformation. Before doors open in the natural, they must first open in the spirit. Before opportunities manifest, there must be a readiness to receive them. Some people miss their shift because they are too attached to the past, too afraid of what they do not understand, or too hesitant to take bold steps of faith. A shift requires courage. It requires being willing to move even when there is no clear roadmap, to trust even when the full picture has not yet been revealed. Those who resist the shift remain stuck, while those who embrace it step into a new level of blessing, authority, and purpose. A shift is often preceded by discomfort. Before breakthrough, there's usually a breaking. Before promotion, there is usually a period of pruning. Before expansion, there's usually a stretching. The process of shifting is rarely easy, but it is always necessary. Growth does not happen without change, and change does not happen without discomfort. When a shift is taking place, old doors begin to close, relationships begin to change, and opportunities begin to emerge that were not visible before. The things that once made sense no longer fit, and the places that once felt comfortable start to feel restrictive. A shift is a divine invitation to step into something greater. It is not something that can be forced, but it is something that must be recognized and acted upon. Those who sense a shift coming must be willing to move when the time is right, to act in faith even when there is uncertainty, and to trust that what is ahead is far greater than what is being left behind. Overflow is the place where lack is no longer an option, where abundance becomes the new normal, where blessings are not just enough, but more than enough. It is not about survival. It is about thriving. It is not about barely making it. It is about living in the overflow of God's provision, favor, and increase. Overflow is not an accident. It is the result of alignment, stewardship, and the faith to receive more than what is expected. It is the realm where prayers are not just answered, but exceeded, where blessings are pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Overflow is not just about financial wealth, it is about every area of life flourishing. It is peace that surpasses understanding, joy that cannot be shaken, relationships that are full of love and purpose, opportunities that seem to chase instead of being chased. It is when resources are not a concern because provision is always present. It is when divine ideas flow freely, doors open effortlessly, and what once seemed impossible becomes natural. Overflow is not for those who think small, it is for those who dare to believe that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that can be asked or imagined. Overflow is not just given, it is attracted. It follows those who walk in obedience, those who honor divine principles, those who are faithful with the little so they can be entrusted with much. It is not for those who hoard, but for those who give. It is not for those who doubt, but for those who expect. The mindset of overflow does not ask if there will be enough. It declares that there is always more than enough. It does not focus on limitations. It focuses on divine possibility. Overflow requires preparation. A person cannot step into overflow while thinking in scarcity. The capacity to receive must be expanded before abundance can be sustained. Just as a cup must be deep enough to hold a greater pouring, a person must develop the discipline, wisdom, and vision to handle increase. Overflow is not wasteful, it is purposeful. It is not just about personal gain. It is about being a blessing, about funding vision, about advancing the kingdom. The purpose of overflow is not to accumulate, but to distribute, not just to enjoy, but to empower, not just to receive, but to pour out into the lives of others. Opportunity is the gateway to transformation, the divine intersection where preparation meets favor and where faith meets action. It is not just about what is available, it is about what is recognized and seized. Opportunity is always present, but not everyone perceives it. Some see closed doors while others see a path waiting to be created. Some see obstacles while others see stepping stones. Opportunity does not always come in the form expected. Sometimes it looks like hard work, sacrifice, or even adversity. Those who are willing to see beyond the surface are the ones who walk into places others only dream about. Opportunity requires readiness. It does not wait for those who hesitate, nor does it remain for those who are unprepared. What a person does in the waiting season determines whether they can handle the opportunities that come. Doors may open, but if a person has not developed the skills, mindset, and character to walk through them, they will remain stuck where they are. The ones who maximize opportunity are those who stay ready, those who invest in themselves, those who move in faith even when they cannot see the full picture. Opportunity often disguises itself as work. It may not always appear glamorous, and it rarely comes without effort. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is not always talent or luck. It is the ability to recognize and act on opportunity. Many people pray for breakthroughs but reject the very opportunities that lead to them. They wait for something easy, something obvious, something instant, while others are willing to put in the effort, take the risk, and step into the unknown. Opportunity is connected to obedience. Sometimes what looks like a simple instruction is actually the key to the next level. A small step of faith can unlock a lifetime of increase. Those who hesitate in fear will watch opportunities pass them by, while those who trust in divine timing and step forward will experience doors opening that no man can shut. Opportunity is not about luck. It is about positioning. It is for those who are prepared, those who are watchful, those who refuse to be passive about their purpose. It is not something to wait for. It is something to walk into, to claim, to maximize, and to turn into something greater than what it was when it arrived. Anointing is the divine empowerment that sets a person apart, the supernatural enablement that allows ordinary people to do extraordinary things. It is not about talent, education, or background. It is about God's hand resting upon someone's life. When a person is anointed, they move differently, speak differently, and operate with a level of grace and authority that cannot be explained by natural means. The anointing is not something that can be bought, borrowed, or imitated. It is something that comes directly from God, something that is cultivated through intimacy, obedience, and alignment with His will. The anointing is not just for spiritual matters, it is for every area of life. It is the anointing that gives a person wisdom in business, favor in relationships, creativity in their work, and effectiveness in their purpose. The anointing breaks barriers, removes burdens, and destroys yokes of oppression. It is the difference between striving and flowing, between struggling and succeeding, between being tolerated and being elevated. The anointing does not just make things possible, it makes things unstoppable. When a person is truly anointed, doors open that no one can shut, opportunities arise that others cannot explain, and provision comes in ways that defy logic. The anointing requires responsibility. It is not just a gift, it is a calling. It requires stewardship, discipline, and a willingness to walk in integrity. The anointing is not for personal gain, it is for divine purpose. It is given not just to bless the individual, but to impact others, to bring transformation, to establish God's kingdom in the earth. Those who are anointed must understand that it is not about them, it is about the assignment. The anointing attracts blessings, but it also attracts battles. The enemy does not fight the anointing because of who carries it, he fights it because of what it produces. The anointing is sustained through connection. A person cannot walk in continuous anointing while disconnected from the source. It requires prayer, consecration, and a willingness to say yes, even when it is inconvenient. The anointing will take a person where talent cannot. It will open doors that experience alone never could. It will elevate, accelerate, and position a person for levels they could never reach on their own. The anointing is not about competition, it is about calling. It is not about human effort, it is about divine empowerment that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Strategy is the bridge between vision and manifestation, the divine blueprint that turns ideas into reality, the roadmap that transforms dreams into tangible success. It is not enough to pray, believe, and declare. There must also be a plan, a process, and a willingness to execute. Strategy is what separates those who hope from those who achieve, those who wait from those who move, those who dream from those who dominate. Without strategy, even the greatest opportunities can be wasted, and even the most powerful anointing can go unused. Strategy begins with clarity. It requires understanding what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and how it needs to be done. A person cannot build what they cannot define. Strategy demands vision, foresight, and the ability to recognize patterns, opportunities, and resources that others overlook. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack a plan. They move without direction, they react instead of initiate, and they wait for things to fall into place instead of positioning themselves to win. Strategy is the wisdom to prepare before the door opens so that when the opportunity arrives, there is no hesitation, no confusion, no wasted time. Strategy is not just about making moves, it is about making the right moves. It is about knowing when to act and when to wait, when to push forward and when to pivot, when to build and when to break down. Strategy is what allows a person to navigate obstacles without being stopped by them, to turn setbacks into setups, to maximize every resource and connection. Success is not just about working hard, it is about working smart. It is about being intentional, disciplined, and willing to adjust when necessary. Strategy requires divine insight. There are levels of success that cannot be reached by human intellect alone. Some doors only open through revelation. Some battles are only won through divine instruction. Some breakthroughs are only accessed through obedience to a strategic plan that does not always make sense in the natural. Strategy is the ability to execute vision with precision, to take steps that lead to results, to turn faith into action and ideas into impact. Those who walk in strategy do not waste time, they maximize it. They do not just hope for success, they plan for it, prepare for it, and position themselves to receive it. Persistence is the force that turns obstacles into opportunities, the mindset that refuses to quit, the determination that pushes past resistance until victory is secured. It is not about having an easy path, it is about refusing to be stopped by a difficult one. Success does not come to those who start and stop, who move only when it is convenient, who quit at the first sign of difficulty. It comes to those who keep going when others give up, who press forward when others turn back, who refuse to settle for less than what has been promised. Persistence is the ability to stand firm in faith when there is no evidence of progress, to keep working when there is no immediate reward, to keep believing when everything says it is impossible. It is the mindset of champions, the resolve of those who refuse to be denied, the spirit of those who understand that every delay is not a denial but an opportunity to grow stronger. Persistence is what makes the difference between those who almost made it and those who actually did. It is what causes people to rise after every fall, to try again after every failure, to keep building even when the foundation is all they can see. Persistence is not just about effort, it is about endurance. It is about outlasting the struggle, outworking the opposition, and outbelieving the doubt. There are people with talent who never succeed because they lack persistence. There are people with resources who never reach their potential because they stop too soon. But those who refuse to quit, those who refuse to bow to discouragement, those who refuse to let temporary struggles define their permanent destiny, these are the ones who break through. Persistence is an act of faith. It is declaring that what has been spoken over a life will come to pass, that the promise will not fail, that the vision will not die. It is the decision to keep moving even when the path is unclear, to keep pushing even when progress is slow, to keep expecting even when the answer has not yet arrived. Those who persist do not measure their future by their present circumstances. They measure it by what they know is coming. They do not wait for the perfect conditions to keep going. They keep going until the conditions change. Persistence is the refusal to let go of what belongs to you, the unwillingness to accept anything less than the fullness of what has been promised.